Hello adventurers, this is your editor Andrew Berta. We had a lot of technical difficulties with this episode. So because of that, you're going to notice a difference in the overlay as well as some of the quality of some of the things we like to do. We're still figuring out a lot of the stuff. It should be fixed for next week. Cannot guarantee anything as of right now. We will also experience a bit of a microphone glitch issue happen in the first part of this episode. So bear with us as we work through the technical difficulties. And remember, this is a good day to die.
We're starting.
Yep.
Welcome back, adventurers. My name is Eli, the Game Master, and this is a good day to die. Stop laughing! So, last we left off, the group had gone into the cemetery, had started moving through the tunnels, and had been swarmed by a group of rats. After dealing with the mischief and moving on into the deeper sections of the tunnel, they found themselves in the sewer system below Drimport. They began to explore and move through these tunnel systems, dealing with the undead and even these hermit crabs that could leap through the air. I can't think of anything more terrifying than jumping crabs. After finding a talking head, which was missing the jawbone and they couldn't fully communicate with it, they found that this is a necromancer's familiar. What it's doing in the cave system and why it's here, they do not know. They cannot communicate with it, but it has hinted that it knows something about Dr. Isaac Tone's brands. After moving on into the area, the group had triggered a trap that had exhausted them, mechanically so, draining away their dexterity and their strength. However, Damon was still within relatively good fighting shape, defended the group from a band of marauders that had showed up, the leader of which had been seen previously by Ragnar and Perry within the council of High Lord Mayor Hawthorne. She had stepped up, putting a gun to Damon's head, and then a voice cut the tension as a young girl said, "Don't hurt him, that is my brother." And we will pick it up there. So, dun dun dun.
Also, side note, sorry for the delay.
Yes, we were experiencing some technical difficulties. There is going to be a shift in quality of tonight's recording than how it has been in the past. We hope to get this fixed by next week. We're going to do everything we can to do that. I'm going to throw money at it, and he's going to do everything he can to get that fixed. He's going to throw himself at it.
Granted, we did just completely redo a whole session and brand new computer in 30 minutes, so.
Yes, we did do. They did. I sat here and talked the entire time.
Which is your job, in all fairness.
It's what I do! I'm good at talking!
The three of us did jack crap.
I don't know who Jack is.
But I did him.
You wanted to so bad.
I did. I'm not going to give you a high five.
Max is like...
Nope.
So, Meryl, the leader of this marauding gang, had stepped up to you, placing a gun between your eyes. And then Tamris, this young, noble-looking woman, stepped up and cried out, "No, that is my brother." Meryl, with the gun to Damon's head, turns to look at the young girl, turns to look back at Damon as she cocks the hammer, and she says, "The Justicar?" And she says, "No, not exactly." She says, "You told me he was going to be a paladin."
My weapons drop down. I'm like, Tamris, what are you doing here?
She says, "Right now I'm trying to save your life, Damon."
You should let her.
She says,
Throw my shield and sword down.
Tamara says, and besides, Meryl, you owe me a favor. Meryl kind of like,
I don't break eye contact with her, but
And
I'm not threatening her anymore.
when you drop your weapons, you see that like she wants to shoot you and she's trying to find an excuse to shoot you, but when your sister claims you owe me a favor, you see her countenance become annoyed but soften as she lowers her sidearm. She says, very well. She says, then I will spare your life, Justicar, and the lives of your friends under the condition that they follow suit and drop their weapons.
I'll let go of mine.
I put mine away and I pick him up. And just kind of like
Can I?
have him leaning
Hold up.
on me.
I will actually.
When you say have him leaning on you,
How tall are you?
his head and feet are touching the ground.
Well, his
pick-
head is not. Like,
I will
would
pick Perry up.
So you
Until
pick,
you pick him up.
you pick Perry and Manzarek
No,
up
I
at
would-
the same
No,
I
he
would-
picks Manzarek up, who's carrying Perry, who's carrying...
I may not be able to carry Perry for you, Manzarek, but I can carry you. You just pick them both up.
Hold him at
I
arm's
want to
length
remind you, I was the
toddler.
only one not affected by the thing. So I'm like,
I still
Totally
have more
fine.
strength than you.
I mean, probably.
Any
But
questions of that, do I have?
Several.
like, yeah, I'm not.
Nope, just the one.
No.
Reading the room, does she look like she's going to allow me to cast a spell?
Oh no.
Okay. So I'm like,
You have half a dozen crossbows aimed on you, a dozen more people surrounding you, and she has lowered her pistol, but they have not. So, as you drop your weapons collectively, yes, no,
I sheathed my weapon. I said bow. I meant my scimitar. I'm character for about half a minute.
why do you suddenly have 18 attacks?
I don't know.
where'd you get all those arrows?
Why are they all dead?
And on fire?
Because Berta told me to. Our viewers at home are like, what are they talking about? Past campaign, previous campaign. One of the marauders steps up with that same tentacle tattoo on his face that rolls down, disappearing into the collar of his shirt. As he steps up to collect your weapons, he, with a little effort, raises your hammer, and it's just like, do you?
I mean, I'm not going to stop him from taking the chain.
He removes your chain whip. He gathers your sword and shield from the ground. He steps up to you. It's in his shirt pocket.
Does he take my staff?
No.
Surely
Never
we would not
actually used it,
deprive
so.
a wizard of an old man of his stuff. Does Tamara's
It's
have...
just Sean Connery as
I
Gandalf.
That would be awesome. I know that's what it originally cast, but like,
Does Tamara's have the same tattoo? Does she
No.
have that simple tattoo?
As they begin to collect your items and everything, you see a blue tiefling step into the room. She turns and looks at you with this kind of like, oh, another tiefling. Her horns extend from the line of her hair, just above her brow. They come out, curving back and then back forward. They raise high on her head. Her hair is pitch black, and it is tied into a ponytail that drops down about between her shoulder blades. She is wearing what looks to be sorcerer robes. So just like magic user robes. She doesn't have any armor or any metal or any real weapons that you can tell. She steps up to each one of you and she waves her hand. Do you have any magical items on you?
Other than my shirt.
So it's a magical item?
Yep.
She waves her hand. She looks at one of the other marauders and she points at your shirt. He steps up and he...
You're gonna have to work. I can't get. I point to my wings, and if I turn, I'm like, the wings are going through the shirt. Like I physically cannot remove the shirt.
How do you bathe?
That's my question.
Oh, you nasty!
He doesn't.
Well, what's the shirt?
Okay. Oh,
Prestidigitation. You think I bathe?
You get a +1 defense from how crusty it is.
I do have a Thunderstone and a Potion of Healing, and I do hand those over.
What does your shirt do specifically?
It's my Vesta surgery.
Okay, so nothing.
If she identified it, it gives me heal check bonuses.
What's the caster level of that guy?
I can check all fronts.
So, she waves her hand over you.
Fifth.
Hold on. Let me double check and make sure.
You're just like,
Yeah, no.
cute, but we're not that high enough level for this to be a thing. She does take vows.
I got a ring. I hesitate.
I do have that every
It's,
person.
it's not mine.
She said, Meryl says, if you're lucky, you'll get it back.
I slowly take it off.
I do have the ever-burning torch.
They she waves over you and she's like, huh. And they just take it. And you're just like, no. They take, the guy takes the satchel. Suddenly Robbie jumps out and bites him on the hand as and he starts shaking the spirit back and forth. You see the sorceress watch him as he's like, no, it's fine, I got this, I'm handling it. And he just shifts off into the back as you hear this. And he's just Meryl says, no, gentlemen, if you will accompany me, we have somewhere to be. She turns and begins to walk. You see the marauders that are up on the walkway on the top level begin to make their way down these ladders, and they walk up behind all of you and they press the crossbow into your backs and they begin pressing you forward.
Oh, we press forward.
They begin leading you down this tunnel, continuing down this sewer, and it seems to be kind of a copy and paste of everything that you have already experienced. But the longer you venture down this tunnel, the more you begin to smell that salty sea air. The water in the trenches begins to become a little less murky and begins to flow faster and faster. As you step out into this kind of catwalk area, you see that it drops to either side, and there are two massive pipes that the water forks down and bifurcates into these waterfalls that dispense down into this dark abyss. You have a dark vision up to 60 feet?
120.
120. So you can see where they dispense into. It looks to be just like a massive drain, and it's just a large whirlpool that extends out for maybe 50 feet. And the water is just dumping into this and looks like it's perpetually just being cycled down. You walk on this catwalk, and it seems like this catwalk was only meant for maintenance purposes, because there are no handrails or no handlebars, and you can only walk single file. And they do make all of you get into a line and walk single file behind Meryl. Meryl stands a comfortable distance away from all of you, so you can't, get any ideas. She does lead you to this far side, and you see there is just a sheer rock wall to the other side. She steps across this metal grate, and when she gets to that sheer rock wall, she passes through it as if nothing's there, leaving only a shimmer of light silhouetting where she once was as she disappears through the wall.
Nifty. I followed through.
As you follow her through, you step through what looks to be like a heavy metal rim that extends maybe 7 feet up, not super high, and wraps down to either side with a 10-foot grace. So you could walk shoulder to shoulder with another person easily into what looks to be a metallic pipe that just extends out into darkness. Those with dark vision have no problem seeing in here. However, everyone else, there are these ever-burning torches every 20 feet that give that kind of eerie blue glow that illuminate this area. As you step into this pipe, however, you hear this dull kind of groaning that begins to emanate through this metal, this kind of deep. and you see along the edges or creases of where the pipe connects to another length of pipe, you see water dripping. And you get the feeling that you are underwater somewhere as you begin to walk and head forward. This will go on for quite some time, so if anyone would want to say anything or do anything during this time, you may.
So, how far away is this? What's her name?
Meryl.
Meryl. Yes, I was thinking Nessa for some reason. I'm going too fast. Straight. So how far away is Meryl from the island? I assume I'm in the lead.
If you're in the lead, she's about 10 feet from you.
So we're leaving Dreamcourt then?
She says, not necessarily. We are under Grimport. She says, we're leaving the city proper. We're actually heading to one of the islands.
I see.
Power, knowledge, or what's the other one?
For what now?
This is in
Islands.
character. The three islands. Power, knowledge, or what's the other one?
She looks over her shoulder and she says, courage.
I doubt courage. That doesn't seem right.
She kind of stops and looks at you for a moment to kind of...
Just a card, not just a card.
Not just a car. Never mind. I'm not getting into this.
I'm justified enough.
He's not just a car.
He's a puzzle guy.
That's alright.
Also, is Perry... if Perry ever starts to get heavy for him to carry, I would eventually offer, I can remove the exhaustion so he can walk.
That'd be great.
The tiefling says, I don't suggest using any spells.
Just the one? They're fantastic.
So I can't say anything.
We
So
like you just the way you are.
So in kind of a, not a loud shout, but kind of a timorous.
She is in the back of the room, and so she is as far from you as comfortably possible right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So, if you were to stop to address your sister, you do see her behind the crossbowman, and she's looking at the ground, and it doesn't seem like anybody's paying attention to her. There's no armed guards around her. They are comfortable with her moving with them. And if you were to pause for any real amount of time, the crossbowmen would just step up, aiming the bow at you, and they'd say, keep moving.
I want to do a sense motive on the situation.
You may!
Quick question. You can download the videos, right?
Yeah. I understand.
Streaming?
No, we're streaming.
Okay. That's all we're doing?
We're just not recording.
Oh.
And the previous one I had it set up to simultaneous.
Okay.
Like one
Oh
click
my
of the button.
gosh! What can't I do?
Oh, it's so good, right?
7.
Oh.
No.
With a 7, you're very confused. You can't quite wrap your head around why she is here or what she's doing with these people or what her relationship with them would be.
Technically, I didn't even know Meryl's motives either, so I have no clue what is even brought her down here. I just know that this is a bandit situation, and there's my little sister.
Mm-hmm.
So, Damon's not in a good mood.
So, to clarify, Perry, she's the one that was in the chamber with the king?
Right? Hi, Lord. I don't know your political systems. I just keep walking.
When she hears you say that, she turns around and she says, no talking with, and continues walking. Because she's been fine conversating with you until you address that you have seen her before.
Yes.
Can I roll an insight? Like a sense motive?
Aren't you carrying?
Never mind. I
Rolled a hit.
She aims the gun at you and you're like, haha, try again. Ow.
Very bad. What are you talking about?
Sounds
sense
like
motive on her.
You may.
25?
With a 25, there's a lot going on here. So, firstly, you feel like the only reason that you're alive right now is because Tamaris came to your rescue.
Correct.
She she said that's my brother, and she also mentioned to Meryl that Meryl owes her a favor, which is very strange. Considering that she's leading a bunch of bandits and walking through this pipe underwater in Drimport to a secret hideout followed by a bunch of bandits, all branded with that tattoo, hers you still can clearly see, it seems that she's made like a foothold in the political system of Drimport, and the fact that she has been identified there and here is weighing on her. She doesn't like that. She doesn't like where she's been spotted. And so what she has accomplished or where she is in the political system could be compromised.
So being at a 1 strength, do I have enough to like move my hands a little bit?
Well, yes.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, hang on a second.
He meant 1 intelligence. Can he actually
I'm not
talk?
trying
Well,
to casting.
anything below 4, you're too dumb to talk. So I want to see what happens at 1 strength.
Yeah.
I hope you can't move.
I don't think I can. I think it might.
Well, I think encumbrance alone would cause.
Being encumbered, I'm carrying him.
And I have very few items.
You have the same strength as a toad.
So what I'm
So
hearing
I got
is you can grab
Morbidly
something
weak,
with your
has
tongue.
significant trouble lifting own limbs.
So probably not.
Can't raise your head or anything.
Yeah, I would say, like, to cast spells.
No, I wasn't
so,
trying to cast. Trying
okay.
to use thieves' can't.
So, like, somatic components, I don't think.
Those kind
are-
of just a language.
Yeah, no.
Well, it's more than that.
It's a sign language kind of thing.
Oh, so you just braille read?
You braille read.
You rarely.
That's how that works.
That's a stretch.
Very much so.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just
Just not out loud.
As you make your way through these tunnels, you notice something along the wall. You see, as you get deeper and deeper into this underwater tunnel, you see that there is a line, like a small thread, that leads along the wall and connects to what looks to be a vial of some kind of viscous material that has been mounted to the wall. And so it seems like every 20 feet, like close to every ever-burning torch, there seems to be one of those connected.
knowledge arcana.
They would be knowledge alchemy.
I have that.
Of course you do.
Hang on.
Isn't
But not-
alchemy
but not-
covered by Arcana?
Unless
Maybe-
it's professional. Crap. Professional. Look them up.
Hey,
It
16 by the way.
But I feel like knowledge Arcana covers alchemy as well.
It probably does.
Put me in mean. Just look it down.
Yeah, Max.
Jeez.
Jeez. It's actually the same for me.
Is that good? Does it feel like a real man?
It is really good.
Some good beer
It is not
that you're
beer.
drinking. Some fire brewed.
So knowledge alchemy or, I'm sorry, knowledge arcana
Or craft
or
alchemy.
craft alchemy. You
Which
can
are
roll.
the same for me. So it's 16.
With a 16, you look at those vials, and you see the canister that they're in. You see the color of the liquid, and for whatever reason, that's familiar to you. It's like a song that you loved years and years and years ago, and then you hear it again for the first time, and you remember all the words to it. When you see these items, you know exactly what those are. Those are bombs. These bombs are made specifically to destroy constructs or to blow apart metal. Not necessarily to kill living creatures, but to destroy
A siege bomb,
objects.
if you will.
Yes. The wire that they are connected to is a chain reaction. What that does is something will spark the first wire, and whatever that magic is will be transferred to bomb. They cannot be set off by a concussive blow or even by fire. Something has, whatever the person that crafted them did, has a certain has a very specific way that they've detonated, that he or she has designated to make each one of these go off. So without doing it yourself or examining them firsthand, you can't tell what that is. It could be something as simple as the cantrip spark, or it could be something as complex as a spoken word, as a magic sigil at the head of the wire.
So, looking at these, I'd be like, siege bomb. And then I would like spout out the formula used to make the siege bomb.
Mary doesn't seem to like care when you start talking, like she doesn't understand what you're going on about. You do see the tiefling though is looking at you and she says, please stop talking.
I also rolled 25.
You know the thing he knows.
Yeah, I would stop and just like, kind of looking at her, clocking.
It's also weird the barbarian can spell, those are bombs.
Not that weird.
I don't like that the gym rat also likes explosives.
We are the buff rats.
Let me introduce you to EOD, the military.
Looking at the tiefling and at this, I'd be like, just make sure you get the right combination of ingredients, right? It gets real bad, and I went to one of my mini scars, like burn scars. It's real bad if that happens.
In common, she says, I'm not the one you should be talking.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Very, very fair enough. What happened?
No.
We're good.
No,
We're good.
no.
We're good. Not great, but good.
We're good.
Not dead.
Not dead. As you make your way down this tunnel, Meryl, you come to a crossroads, an intersection, where the same extent of pipe leads out to your left and to your right. However, directly ahead of you, you see what looks to be a dozen eyes glowing in the dim blue light. They are these bright, pearly, sheening orbs that seem to be peering at you from the darkness. Meryl comes to an abrupt stop. Now, in this crossroads area, there is a 20 by 20 section of space, and the roof above you domes up to being 10 feet high. So it's like a rounded top, 20 by 20, and then it extends off to your left and right and ahead of you. But directly ahead of you, you see those eyes peering at you from the darkness. You see this creature step into the light, and it looks to be a mixture of a man and a piranha. This thing stands nearly 7 feet tall, wielding a trident in one hand, with fins that extend off of his wrists on both hands, down his back from the mid of his head, all the way down to the low of his back, and a large, powerful tail that extends out behind him. His mouth is broad, his head massive, and you see teeth ranging out in a vicious grin along his head as he steps out to greet all of you. Meryl steps up to this creature and she says, Pour off, buddy, what do you... And he starts speaking. Does anyone in here speak Aquan?
That's fish. No.
Very good. No one speaks Aquan?
No, sir.
I can't.
Skip over.
I've never on this class.
It steps forward and starts speaking Aquan. This like deep gurgling noise emits from its chest, and because it has gills on both sides of its jaw, you hear that sound not only emitting from its mouth, but out from the side of its neck. As if this thing were to speak underwater, it would emit all around, but because it's speaking on land, or out of the water, technically not on land, but as it speaks, it's making a horrendous noise that just feels very alien to all of you. But Meryl seems to understand what he's saying. She says, yes, I understand that we had an arrangement and I can bring what I promised you, but right now I'm dealing with something. He slams the trident on the ground and he points at her with a clawed hand. As he turns his back to her, walking over to the other glowing eyes hiding in the darkness, and you get a feeling that they prefer being in the dark. As it begins to kind of conversate with them, and that same awful gurgling noise begins to emit from maybe half a dozen other voices in the darkness. Meryl goes. She turns to look at all of you. She says, "Gentlemen, I think I know how you can help me with something, and it would be in your favor."
How's that?
She says, "Not you." She walks over to the gentleman that's holding all of your equipment. He's like, she takes the bastard sword out of his hand. She rolls it into a reverse grip. She says, "This is me." She walks back over to the group. It turns around to face her, towering over her. She is not a big person, and this thing is monstrous in size. But as she approaches it with confidence, as if she's doing like a business deal with it. She begins to speak in common with it in a hushed tone that you can eavesdrop on with a perception roll.
Also, with dark vision, do I see how many people are there?
Oh yes, and it is 6 of them.
20.
20,
12.
12, 13, 14.
Oh boy, 20!
20.
That's,
So Damon and Dr. Isaac, you are the only two that can really understand what's going on.
And I'm already on pins and needles, so.
You're not gonna lie.
He's on metal. He's underwater. You pick up pieces of what's being said, but it talking over her, like as if it's upset with her and is not okay with what's being said, begins to speak loudly and drowns her out. However, you two can extrapolate and kind of through context clues get an idea of what's happening. She steps up and she says, "I know we had a deal and I know how this works." And she says, "But I have something I want to offer you." She says, "We're going to do our typical deal, but if my man loses this time," she says, "you and your friends can have him." It leans back looking down at her. It says something. She says, right, but she like looks over her shoulder at all of you. She's like, she turns back to him and she says, "There are a number of them, and you can have your pick." 2. It says something loudly. She says 3, and that's my final offer. It kind of raises up and looks at over all of you. It rolls its shoulders, right? As it turns to the other ones, it begins to say something over and over in that gurgling voice as it slams its trident on its chest over and over, and they begin to do the same thing as she chants out. She says, "Wonderful." She turns around to walk towards all of you. She says,
I've got my arms folded at this point.
"I am nothing but a businesswoman," she says. Damon. She says, "Well, what's happening here is they are willing to kill all of us, including you, your friends, and your sister, unless you duel one of them. Might makes right in their culture, in the Sogan culture."
Or, follow me on this. We go back that way.
Oh, no. She says they protect our tongues. This happens once a week.
I look at the 30 crossbow men.
There's a name for that kind of protection.
Mm-hmm. She says, "You don't know how dangerous it is, Dad. You don't know how dangerous I am.
I know you have a sister down there.
And so fighting a fish man is going to be the easiest thing you do today."
I am literally doing
I turn
this.
and try and catch him. And try and catch Donna, turn my whole body into a weapon. I turn my head and try and catch Tamara's eye.
She purposely does not look at you.
I need my shield. I say before I turn back.
She says, "Of course." You see the guy going. She walks up to him. She goes, "Is it that heavy?" And he goes, "Ferret." And pants. She's like, "Dude. Wherever skull fits, body can fit." Right. She takes the shield. She walks over to you. She says, "Anything else you'd like?"
Take a shield.
Shield him forward. But no spells. Sorry.
She gestures for you to make your way into the center of the room.
Gasp.
Shot.
Yes. Can we guess? I have a real good question though. Blue is the lights.
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
That is a real good. Very good, Shane. See?
I would have tried to be more. I can catch a faith on him if they will allow such a thing.
Do you say something?
I would have said something to read some deeper.
What do you say?
If you would like to increase your chances of this fight going in favor, then give him a minor shield. You watch me cast a spell. No trigger.
What level is it? Level 1? Okay, she'd be able to identify it. She turns and looks at Meryl. Meryl says, "Oh, it'll be good." She identifies it. No funny business.
It chilled me. Oh, I could have cast the flippy wings. I mean, if you really wanted me to.
Thanks.
Plus 2 deflection bonus.
Yeah, what about that restoration?
One step at a time, I got out. Well, you still hurt.
The way you asked the question, the answer is yes. Always.
Mentally. Emotional.
I don't know if I can heal you.
So, go ahead, Damon, and roll me an initiative.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
What's wrong with it?
It's not sponsored, but we could be.
Just you're ready to go out on a limb and sponsor.
The more you eat, the more you gain.
Sponsored by Pampers.
Depends.
This battle of the fish creature is sponsored by Bush's Baked Beans. Mom's bouncing baby bear. You almost goofed.
That's how you get.
That's hilarious.
Oh, I saw my wallet flash before my eyes. Okay.
Are we allowed to heal him?
Once the fight starts.
How long does the exhaustion last?
So, help me out.
I'm just gonna heal him. Regardless of consequences.
Oh,
do that thing?
buddy.
Yeah, you do some work.
You for heal.
I imagine you're just like. And you're like, no.
My
Creature that I touch. With my thumb.
You see one of the guys go, whoa. What'd you do?
a frog. So I approach the center of the thing. My stance looks like I'm moving more out of sheer strength than out of any sort of nimbleness. Yeah, very much a lack of nimbleness.
Are you saying you're like the board?
As if my dexterity were lowered.
Almost.
This fish creature steps into the room. It points its trident and calls out something in that same hideous language. Meryl says, nothing more. This is between them. It steps up and it looks at you. It says something in Aquan, as if you were to understand it, but you understand trash talk in any language.
It's
Right.
a universal.
Why don't you say it in common, since I don't speak your language?
The beast that follows this victory.
Then I'm glad you'll die.
Needs.
And I post up.
What'd you get on your initiative?
10.
Oh boy, what's your dex modifier?
Oh no.
His?
-2 right now.
We'll just say it first.
It's the dex for initiative bonus.
Well, typically the initiative bonus is.
Well, his initiative bonus would be higher.
What's the initiative bonus?
2.
Sure. We'll let you go first, though.
With me.
Do you want to kill it?
Oh yeah, my first move is a bull rush.
Alright. So you square up to this creature, and then you say, well, I'm glad you'll die happy. And then you charge at it. As you do so, when you move into its range, it takes the trident and swings at you, taking the attack of opportunity.
Yes.
He knows that now.
on point with the on.
16 hit you. As it swings at you, you hold up your shield. You all see that splash of sparks as the trident bounces off of your shield and you come towards it.
That's that deflection.
You're welcome.
Did it miss you by 1?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
And I had 15 versus his CD.
You run to him. He squares up as you plow into him and move him 5 feet back.
Did you mean the bullish or charge?
He said C.
I said damage.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Charge shit adds 2 to attack. Or minus 2 Jason. Why are we playing rules the game?
Ready, Simmons.
There are other games that make this way easier.
Can I make that a part of an intimidation?
It's part of a charge, so you're still hitting him with a melee attack.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do I get a bonus to it or no bonus?
No, there's no bonus, but you're hitting him.
Okay.
He still gets the BAB edge of the attack, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That's what he's asking.
he's hitting and knocking it back.
Also, if the Sahaugen creature has combat reflexes, do you have an improved bull rush? Then you would get an attack of opportunity for the bull rush.
Good
Well,
call.
Get wrecked.
19.
19. A 19 will strike your opponent.
8 points damage.
gross.
You hit it, knocking it back. It steps back and it wipes the blood from its lip as it looks at you. It rolls its trident as it takes a free 5-foot step into the room. In doing so, it swings up above your head. And it completely takes out the light that is in the center of the room. Everyone that doesn't have night vision, anyone that doesn't have dark vision, they completely disappear in the center of this room. As this thing hits the light, casting you both in darkness.
So would this,
Gonna be blinded.
would this be as blind or just
You were blind.
Where is the guy with the bag and stuff?
You are like, no. So, yeah, you are effectively blind.
Okay.
So that means any attacks against him would be 50-50. It is your turn.
This has got harder.
70.
Alright, that potentially will strike him.
That's right.
8.
It will not strike your opponent. As you swing out, you feel your sword connect with something, and you all for a brief moment see sparks fly as Damon's sword crashes into the shaft of the trident, and you just see them for a brief moment frozen in time as they and then it goes completely dark again. As that happens, you hear something hit the floor, and you hear this noise.
Should have been knowledge nature.
It would be Arcana. You don't have Arcana? Nat 20? Damn. Does a 15 hit you?
Yes.
You take 10 points of damage. Does a 12 hit you?
No.
Does an even lower hit you?
No.
Okay.
What? Yeah, it knows my weakness. The low.
Oh, by the way, it would be against your flat foot, which probably is the same as your AC.
Yes.
Okay. So, as you swing out and hit this thing, you hear something metal hit the ground, when suddenly you feel these sharp talons rake across your face. It jerks your head to the side, and you close your eyes as blood begins to roll down your face. but it doesn't really seem to matter. You can't see anything around you anyway. As you close your eyes and then out of instinct throw up your sword and shield, you feel your sword catch into the bend of its arm, and you feel something crash against your shield as you hear its teeth scrape against the metal. Your turn.
50 on the money.
50 will potentially strike your bow.
11.
11 will not strike your opponent. As you swing out this thing, just hitting nothing but the darkness around you. 20.
Also, for future reference, 51 to 100 is 1 through 50 is
You didn't hit it. You take 5 points of damage. Cool.
No.
10. As you step to the side, you feel this thing grab you by the top of your head, and you feel its claws rend into your scalp as it tries to pull you back. You spin around, swinging your shield out, as you feel something make contact with the shield, and then you immediately do a thrust kick, and you feel it hit into this creature's torso as you hear its teeth clap in front of your face, and it stumbles backwards into the darkness.
56.
higher than 51.
9. That means no in German.
You swing out again, and in the darkness, you hear this thing step back. You can hear the of its massive weight, and you hear that deep guttural. And you hear the other ones begin to laugh again as it begins to bang on its chest, and you hear the other ones return in kind as it begins to taunt you in the darkness.
Not looking over the mural. Doesn't it seem unfair that he can see but the thing can't?
I find it unfair that he's wearing armor and it's not.
I retract my statement.
She goes, besides, I can't see what's going on.
Oh,
The tiefling goes, he's not doing great.
How,
not doing bad either.
is there light in the side passages?
Yes, but it only extends to young.
Where are we at?
You are all in.
Okay.
You also hear a chicken.
Yeah, that's not as important as being able
Like
to see.
periodically, you all can see the two silhouettes dancing and obstructing the light from the passage beyond, but you can't really make out what's going on.
I head towards that.
You hear it call out to you, and you hear the group begin to. You hear this noise echo out through the passage.
I hold my turn for when it gets close enough for me to see him.
It calls out to you in Aquan again.
Like, I told you, it's fish for brains.
Too scared to fight.
I'm not the one that put out the lights. Is that intimidation, or what would that be for
Intimidation.
intimidation? I've already hurled my dice in one of your abodes before.
did that,
I'm
didn't
not
y'all?
going to do that in here.
Metal dice don't roll well anyway.
That's 9.
It steps forward and it says, something so honored.
Come at me, bro.
Knowledge Arcana, you said? To
Yeah.
identify what this is?
Mhm.
More, I'm specifically wondering if it has natural armor. Ooh, maybe 22.
With a 22, you would be able to identify this as a Stalgan. Stalgan. The Stalgan! Ravenous and cruel, the Sahuagin are unfortunately among the most prosperous oceanic races. Great cities raised by these creatures darken the deep ocean trenches, and many are near coastal regions, creating fortresses where they launch endless raids against their air-breathing enemies who dwell in close proximity to the shore. You may ask, what'd you get again?
122.
13 questions.
There, you can look up the
You may ask 2 questions about the Sahuagin.
Defenses. Not special defenses. Defense.
What does that mean?
Armor type. Not specific AC.
It's natural.
So it does have a natural armor.
It has no armor that equips, so its AC is strictly from its dexterity.
So there's no natural armor.
Like,
Because they would say like
it doesn't have a shell.
right.
It's not difficult to hit. He's rolling garbage.
The 2 questions you said?
Yeah.
Special attacks.
Yes, it does have a special attack. Blood Frenzy. Once per day, a Sahuagin that takes damage in combat can fly into a frenzy in the following round. It bolsters its health and its strength in doing so. Mechanically, its constitution and strength. But it takes a penalty to its armor class. So, it rages. The frenzy lasts as long as the battle or 1 minute, whichever is shorter.
Okay. I sort of. A minute.
Does an 8 hit you?
No.
As you're standing there, the trident lurches out from the shadows. As you're just kind of on the defensive, you hold up your shield as it bounces off.
You take another 3-5 step back. Yeah, assuming the defensive posture.
It says something in Aquan. Meryl says, I can't control what he does. It hits the ground with its trident over and over. She says, what do you want me to do? Shoot him in the back?
No, but you could shoot him in the face. I say.
You see those pearly whites glistening ever so often in that blue dim light, right? You see them roll back, and you see this black sheen completely cover them. Have you ever seen like Shark Week when a shark's about to attack? How it you see that as this thing roars out, and the area around you shakes, and it'll make a charge attack. It runs up. Actually, no, it can't. It could. Okay, it makes a charge attack. It runs at you, throwing the trident down as it moves into the light where you are, and you see it looks like a shark with legs. It looks like a shark running at you, not in water. As its mouth is open and it's roaring as it lurches at you with those powerful jaws.
So I get a attack of opportunity.
Do you have reach?
It's within reach.
It's entering into your space.
Yeah.
It's not moving within that space. So no. Does the 17 hit you?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Does the 19 hit you?
Yes.
I'm sorry, does a 21 hit you?
Move on. There's more numbers above it.
Dealing 9 points of damage. As it lurches out, grabbing you by the arms, and it sinks those jaws just into your shoulder. You hear this hideous crunch noise as you feel that kind of thick, hot blood begin to roll beneath your armor as it bites into you.
But that's kind of what I was waiting for. I might evil.
Oh, yeah. Because now you can see it.
Now I can see it.
Amos looks at his dice and he's like, I defy you.
You are the evil. I am playing.
Low rolls mean nothing now.
Yep. Alright, and I'm gonna attack him again.
You may.
Probably feels a good
With
thing.
11.
You swing up at this thing as it takes a step back. You kind of stagger as it.
Can I roll a kill check?
You may.
How's an 11?
With an 11, I would let you know whether he's above or below.
Oh.
With my special eyes, can I see how the Sahagin is looking too?
Yes, you may. Does it give you
Or half, 3, 2. So if it's between half and 3, then 3 and 0.
He's somewhere between half and 3. It takes a step back away from you as you swing up at it. It tilts its head and says something, in Aquan, and it leans in and it says, "Or, your puny brain, I'll make it clear to you." It points behind you. I'm eating the small ones first.
When he says that, Meryl, may I have it?
No.
And Mike.
No.
And mine.
Specifically now?
Does a 5 hit you? I'm sorry, does a 7 hit you?
No.
I'm sorry, doesn't know what.
Nat 20.
Reroll it.
Ross.
Does a 10 hit you?
Hold my walking stick.
You take 2 points of damage. Does a 9 hit you?
I don't know what this
It
is.
swings at you. You block, kind of like barely able to stand on your feet. As you knock its claw away, it swings at you with the other one as you just kind of check it with the pommel of your sword. And it snaps at your face, just catching you again on the chest as you scream out in pain and it pulls away from you. You see its long tongue lap out and begin to lick the blood from its teeth.
Oh, there we go. 26.
Oh, he's been rolling like under 7. All night.
5, 3, 42. One of these things is not like the others.
And 5 and
Oh shit, Sherlock! I have no in between. I get close when I hit. Alright, I hit him for 13 points of damage.
So, you kind of step back. You all hear that telltale sound of blood hitting metal as you hear that around Damon as he's standing his ground. This thing looks down at him and just... It lurches out towards him, and Damon ducks underneath it, and you see him whirl his sword above his head and swing up. He is now facing all of you with his sword out to the side. The creature freezes mid-lurch. As you see its head begin to shift and then drop to the ground, and its body still standing there. Blood spurts out and rolls over Damon's back as it just slumps to the side in a dead pile. You hear the other Salgan behind it stop their chant.
However, it is not a steady stance. I'm staggering as I'm holding the final pose.
If anybody is to look at Tamras, she is facing the wall. Like, as all of this is going on, she's standing there like this, not watching the fight. You see about 4 more Salgan begin to enter into that middle area.
As I hear, I turn around and put up another guard.
They are just as big and ugly as that one is.
I'm backing down.
They reach out and grab the dead body. They pull it into the darkness, and you all hear this tearing, ripping, crunching sound begin to emit from the darkness.
Oh, they're trying to put it back together. Got it.
I imagine you're like, Doctor, and you're like, nope, you don't want to know. Okay, never mind.
Watch it, Harry, watch it.
Someone turned my head on.
This will make a man out of
I
you.
imagine it's 65 feet away and Billy's like, oh, thank God, oh, thank God. That's an arm.
One of the creatures steps out into the light and it walks past you.
That's okay. It's not threatening. That's the thing. It's not.
It's still kind of threatening.
It's not actively threatening.
It walks past you as it walks up to Merle. You see that same bloody ichor rolling down from its teeth as it walks over to her. It starts saying something in Auckland. She says, "Thank you for the grace period, and what is promised will be delivered." Now, shoot, she says. It turns and walks off. She looks at
I
you.
turn and I stalk toward her. I don't raise my sword, but I'm not looking very happy.
He's growing.
As much as an 18 intimidation can do.
She looks up at you, right? She smiles. She said, "You'd be more intimidating if you didn't look like an open can of tomato sauce." She tries to take your sword from you.
I do not. It's like, I will use weapons on your behalf. I've earned the right to.
I decide what you've earned and what you haven't. And as long as your companions are under my thumb...
You have my sister. I will do nothing.
She laughs. Your sister has you. That's the only reason you're still alive.
You see my sword, hang my shield. It says, you can try to take me.
She cocks the hammer. She says, "You're barely standing. And I've killed these things before by myself."
But I will go with you. No trouble.
She takes a step back. As she does, Tamara says, "Damon, please." She says, "You're under no position to harm, my friend."
So, what sort of sense from the defeat of their leader?
You thought that was...
You hit him twice and he died.
They ate it.
Maybe that's how they get to be the leader. They eat it.
Swerved his power. These things get real scary.
There can be only one.
This stuff is horrible.
Like, you're not even supposed to be down here.
You say that to her?
Tamaris.
Oh, to Tamaris?
Yes.
You see anger well up in her face. You see tears begin to run down. She turns and starts walking in the other direction. Meryl watches her go. She pokes you in the chest. Fine, keep it. And she walks past you.
I turn and I follow her. At her 10-foot distance. Out of it.
I'm the bad one here. Anyways,
Ryan Reynolds now?
What?
Interviews. You can sponsor us.
Sponsors of Deadpool and Wolverine. I will host
Libel?
I will host a whole episode dressed as either one of them. In any scene of that movie. Anyway. So, you know what I'm talking about, Hugh. Anyway. Oh, Hugh. Hugh. Anyway. Not Hugh, Hugh. Anyway. As you begin...
Because it was funny.
Berta just melted into the floor. As you all make your way into that tunnel, those who can see make a wide circle in the center of the room. Those who can't see hear something squishy as they make their way through the center of the room.
Slosh, slosh,
What
slosh.
the? Hey, don't step in the middle.
Greetings, adventurers. This is the part of the episode where the mics just decided to not want to work. So, we will meet you guys in the second part. And remember, this is a good day to die.
Welcome back, adventurers.
This is not
After that
Eli.
commentary,
the game master.
sound quality issue.
Yes. So, as we said before, we're experiencing a few difficult technical difficulties. Our audio was possessed by evil gremlins in the system. What I had previously described was they had made it to the pirates' hideout. In the pirates' hideout, it has an open cave mouth that looks out into the bay. This cavern is probably 50 feet up and has 3 different levels in it. Steps carved into the stone, different caverns with people doing different things in there. The group had rushed down, or the group of pirates had rushed down to meet our adventurers, and they are being accosted by a tremendously powerful looking female gnoll, who Muriel said, no.
It's not cool.
Not a kobold.
Yeah, Damon rolled to know knowledge about kobolds and got him nothing closer to knowing anything about the knowledge. We made the joke. You can't do that. It was at your expense. Anyway.
Yes, and
Very
it's
good.
no.
But looking out of
I
the
think you have to finish their interaction with her.
she's flirting. Looking out in a really impressive, mighty kind of way.
Whoa. What's this rating?
I'm not going to marry.
They have it so fast.
Looking out of the mouth of the cave, they also found cannons and gunpowder, and by they I mean right now. Looking out of the open mouth of the cave, you all realize that it is twilight. You had spent the better part of this day crawling through graves, tunnels, and sewer systems. Excuse me.
And then shoot
Yes, you had. Some of you had been bitten more than others.
Quite a bit more.
She turns and she says, "They are exhausted." Quite literally, she says. "If you'll escort them to their new living arrangements," she says, "I will be with them shortly." The gnoll turns to face all of you as she takes her axe and she points. You see a kind of like a cage set off to the side. This cage looks like it would be in the brig of a ship somewhere, but has been deconstructed and reconstructed in this cave here. She points towards the cage. You see there is little more in there than rags, a bowl to use for something, and a pile of straw.
I imagine we won't be allowed to leave.
The gnoll looks at you and he says, "Eventually, one way."
She means dead or alive.
Thanks.
Oh, you're welcome.
I speak barbarian.
I turn and immediately go to the cage. And he collapse onto the filthy straw. I just kind of sit down heavily.
And it's like,
Is that Blue's defense around?
yes.
Am I allowed have to heal them of any? If I'm in the cage.
She looks at you for a moment, right? She says, "Yes, please." She does not.
And from the cage you hear, yes, please.
So first thing I'm gonna do, left respiration. You have been registered in the left country. I hope you speak Kuwait. Kuwaitis. So it
I was
goes
gonna say Farsi, but I don't know.
Marcy's like, it's the Iranian language, or as such like that.
All of this is but
You go from exhaustion to fatigue.
Bam.
I'm just
And then
Do that thing.
hang on. So does that give you back some strengths?
Yeah, there's someone that it wasn't like ability damage.
Right, but
I'm at 5 now. What's 5 give me?
everyone gets healed for 9.
5.
we get healed 9s. I'm
How bad are you still looking?
I'm a little over half.
A little over half.
Good.
I'm good.
How's Rihanna doing?
Harry's good. Still gotta get my arms to his now.
I need to know how.
Because I don't know how to do the scope.
You have the strength.
Alright.
No. Something
Are you a
between
little over half?
a monstrous centipede. It's
Like, if you had to put a number to the
Like,
You knocked off balance.
swings and things.
So I can do that. Yeah, you can walk.
So you stand. Yay!
Like a baby giraffe.
I get
more
it on my
bigger.
shoulder. You're not gonna be able to walk very well.
The tiefling steps into the open cage with all of you. She says, "By the way, my name is Muriel. I'm here to help you as best I can." She says, "But to do so, I need to know more about you." She says, "You clearly have a healer or any of the rest of you spellcasters."
I say no.
She like tilts her head. You hear, "He said yes to thieves' camp." You see a black oak leaning up on one of the higher ridges looking down at you. He has a bright purple bandana wrapped over his head with holes cut out for the ears. He has clothing that very much looks like it's meant to be able to move in. It's not loose, it doesn't hang free, like it would never snag on something. As he's looking down at you and spinning the dagger,
After tonight.
oh my god! You all just. What'd you do? He's spinning a dagger over his hand, just kind of like whirling it around deftly. He kind of looks down at you and he says, "Why does a spellcaster know thieves' camp?"
Hey, just curious soul.
Huh. She says, "Well, we have something for you too." As the gnoll steps back into the room, she produces a pair of manacles that completely cover from your hand down to your elbows.
I didn't
That's
say
fine.
anything.
Almost come out like I expect this to happen.
About why is
You need smaller ones.
Welcome to the. Are you the?
I am just a girl.
They
I do an escape artist while we put it on. Or
You can say no.
a sleight of hand.
I'm trying to think because there is a okay. I will let you do it at the DC of these manacles because with them on, the DC gets exponentially more difficult. So yes,
Which
and be escape.
That's escape.
Mhm.
That's close.
8.
Doesn't count. Not in the tray.
What is it?
A 19.
We didn't miss a tray.
26.
No.
They're like pretty.
Even at 19, still no. They're higher than 35.
I assume that's what I'm saying. Outside of your skill level. Wait till you get to 50.
Does anybody have a praise?
Yes, you're doing.
You're doing
great.
fantastic.
It's just me.
It was pretty
Never mind.
I thought I did, but I don't.
9.
That's no in German.
With a 14, you can't tell how nice these are. They seem way too nice for these kind of people. And like, once you look around, it seems like most everything in here is super nice. Even from like these makeshift buildings that people are resting in, if you were to look in there, even the creature comforts that they have in there are like silken linens, tapestries, drapes, things like that. Expensive paintings.
It's like somebody's got the inside works.
As you all begin to kind of bed down, she says, I promise this is for your own good. Apologies how this all turned out. But I would like you to
I do have to ask, are we actually going to get out of here alive?
that remains to be seen. But so far you're doing great. She said that she shuts the door.
How wide is
Actually, with an escape artist, you can
Do it. Do it, you little grimy man, you.
We're probably been much. I can't say I recommend this.
Oh, yeah. He said yes a lot. That's yes. That's no.
I heard.
I forgot he was here and I
I can do that. I pull it back and step on top of it. You want me to throw you?
It's not what I was getting at.
Grab
But
him first.
Is your master here, bud? Oh no! He's got a knife!
he's riding a moose and he has a gun.
It's your jawbone there, buddy.
Do you know where we're at? That's yes. He said yes.
Ragnar, you're doing so good.
Yeah, you can't clap, buddy.
Slap him back the skull.
I go ahead and pull the skull out of his bag. Since I can tell the.
I just set it on top of it.
So what do you do with it?
I just set him down.
I pick him up, staring right at me. Are you trying to point with your eyes? Say when you're close.
So as you begin to like scan the room with him, you point at the tiefling as she's walking away.
You want us?
Talk about that way.
Do you want us to get her attention? That's Merelda.
She stops.
We have a gift for you.
She walks over. She like leans in and looks. She says,
I pull back and just like, no, hang on.
"Where did you get that?"
It depends.
Into sewers.
You are terrible at this game. We found this thing. He was towards you. How? Do you know what this is?
Do you know who that is?
Who?
Yes. His name is Burn.
You ain't got a jaw. That's a good bird. Sorry.
He like looks at her like, "Please help me."
Please believe his jawbone to be on the skeleton. One of the headless ones walking around. There's a jabber jaw.
Oh. She says,
What did you send them?
"What makes you think I did?"
Well, while we're sitting in here, we could be stopping.
She says, "No, you can."
Well,
But that's cute. You think they give that to
stay alive.
Yes.
That wasn't coming.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
If we make it out alive, I will get it.
She said, if you don't make it out alive, you'll get it.
Yeah, no, that's the point. But at that point, at least I have a chance to destroy it.
She said, you think you can destroy that?
No, but I'll try. He doesn't seem to like that idea.
I reach
Damn it, intensified.
I casually, well not casually, but I intentionally reach over and grab the skull out of your grasp. Yeah.
I held on to it, so I'm like, you're not gonna give it to her, are you? Are you giving to her? Yes or no?
I am finessing the situation.
I pull it out and say, that sounds like a yes to me.
Would you please give her?
Yeah, that's his name. I giggle.
I look at Burn. Is that your name?
It's funny. It's simple. Leave me alone.
Please, I'm begging.
Does she have a spell book?
You want to give her your
No.
sword? It's my
But
sword.
that's not-
I don't know this is hers. She could make it up. Probably no.
Neat connection.
Right? Yeah, he totally was not guiding you.
So I like whip the
He
gauntlets.
doesn't
I'm
say
like
anything. He's just
doing the math
go.
in my head.
Esmeralda.
How long have you necromancer with no spell book?
What did you think of a necromancer?
She's just
Talking skull. Jabber jaw.
Mm-hmm.
No, necro.
You said it was mine. I just said I know who he is.
See, I told you it's not hers.
And he lied when she's the skulls.
Who is Burn?
He didn't lie. He just said, hey, get her attention.
Well, no, he didn't. He went
Yeah.
towards her a lot.
So I'm addressing her. Like, so who is Burn?
He is burned.
Right, but I mean, is he a part of this group?
Well, at the moment we have him, so I will say
She said it's questioningly.
So who is Burn?
Duh.
Anything you'd like to elucidate about his?
Yes. Burn the annoying. What do you want to know?
Why is he so insistent?
Mm-hmm.
Why is
You're
Burn
right.
so insistent on going with you?
Great question. Let's explore that avenue.
If you can let him talk, and he says he belongs to you, I will give him to you.
I will advocate for you if you don't kill him.
Oh, I have no reason.
Or
If you
damn.
advocate,
If you'll avocado for us.
We have hit the extent of the girl.
I would say that's
if
very
you will
impressive.
help us not die.
It's very impressive you use a multisyllabic word.
Most. I saw that.
She says, I'm done here. She walks away.
I tried. Sorry.
I cut that one. I know you did.
We're gonna die.
You're like, oh, good luck, guys.
I wouldn't leave because I don't think.
Oh, here you go.
They're all having a meeting, and he just shows up dressed like a pirate, and he's like, yarr.
It's Rayado. Is he big enough or small enough to fit through doors?
Am I big enough not to fit through the bars?
You just like pop him over his shoulder.
I should shout next time.
So the evening rings on, and it feels uncomfortable. There are a lot of conversations happening about all in this area. Some of them are taking bets on what's going to happen, where you're going to end up, and who gets what off of you. Because you still have your equipment on, and some of it's nice and expensive, and they want it. However, you are all recovering from exhaustion, and so the only way to get rid of that is rest. But you can do whatever you want. what would y'all like to do in your new little habitat
Oh, I'm in that.
for humanity?
Happy
He's
Yeah.
I want to try to weigh in on hearing the closest conversation that I can. I need to roll.
Yes.
Okay.
Is it above a 5?
Yes.
You hear a pair of voices begin to talk.
I'm-
They are very shrill, but they're coming from a ledge just above you, and you hear them kind of bickering back and forward, and one of them you recognize. What did you roll?
I rolled a 2, but I have bonuses, so 9.
9? You recognize it, but you can't place it, really.
Did I try to like really hone in? Like it's a itch at the
You can
back?
hear what they're saying, but knowing what they're saying, you don't.
That-
You know what they're saying, you don't know who's saying it, though.
Oh.
But you hear the conversation going back and forth.
No, it doesn't work like that. If they their stuff goes to pirates, it doesn't go to you. But it could go to me. I'm one of the pirates. Yes, I know.
as it begins to go such.
Goblin Goblin?
Do I know y'all?
Maybe.
Knew it.
No.
No, these are the two we caught up. I guarantee it.
Rim is the cold.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure these are the
I would
two
just hope.
goblin. Just hope. Was it the goblin? Was it the goblin? No, they weren't goblins. They were kobolds, weren't they?
Who?
That we tied up.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's them. That's my guess. I don't know.
Do you know who it is?
But outside of that, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Goblins.
Cool. What an impression
Well,
he's
I
made.
know.
Not the
It's the freaking merchant guy. Holy crap.
I thought that. I didn't know who we were talking to.
I wasn't expecting.
I was like, the only other goblin we dealt with was that one.
What are the odds?
You see Trig lean over the edge and we're down
Oh,
on
you trade? How's it going?
Oh, it's not over. He begins to like crawl down the side.
It's
He's too fat to really like grab onto the side. And so he hits the bars and he like in between the bars.
yeah, so
So he's inside with us?
Yeah.
That was yeah. Like what
He looked at you.
You can go watching something.
warn me. I don't look through those.
Good for you.
You see another goblin lean over the side. This goblin is completely missing one of his ears, and there's scars along that side of his face. He has goggles, and along those goggles are magnification lenses, so he can like flip them over if he'd like to. He looks over, and you see he's missing at least one finger on each hand, and he is wearing a leather apron that runs down the front of his chest, and a small cap on his head as he like leans over and looks down at all of you.
Oh, that's a man license.
Trade. Do you know anyone who makes bombs?
He says,
Yeah, cousin my bones.
Who's your cousin?
Where's my?
he points up. Alrel's fine.
Oh, you watched the formulas and the siege bombs you made. You told me not believe in stairs.
You see my bones?
Yeah, siege bombs.
You see my bones? I love the seer bones. I've heard of conversation. Yeah, you like my bones. No one liked your bones. You like my bones? Another son.
They begin to argue.
Hey, guys,
You like my bones.
guys. I think he was trying to talk.
No,
Didn't work.
conversation. I interrupted our conversation being to I'm so sorry. Can you wait, please?
Yes. No.
Question: why are you out here? I thought you were going to Drimport.
I'm a jerk.
Okay, I thought you were going to Drimport for the circus.
We're all on us to check that.
island are we on?
We're not. We're in it.
We go out the back gate.
Mm-hmm.
What are we on here?
Wow. Ocean. I'm good at this. Ask me a no.
What island are we under?
Oh.
Knowledge? It's knowledge.
How long have you been here, Greg?
What time is it?
The other one pulls up a wristwatch and you see there's a sundial on it.
9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. 4 hours.
Sure, I'll take that at face value.
So, you came to Drimport
Yeah.
to do a circus thing
Yeah.
for these people?
No.
Oh, I didn't think so. So how come you're...
Trade, whatever. Birds have lots of
That's, well...
trade health information, parasitic information. Longshanks upstairs, no luck goblins. No check goblins, think dumb. Not so dumb. I'm smarter than they think.
You see the other goblin like look at Trig, and he looks at you guys like he knowingly is like, yeah, I know.
So,
Any amount of insight from me. Isaac wants to say something, but just doesn't.
so you're not a part of these pirates,
No.
but you have safe passageway with them?
Yes.
So they haven't done anything to you? Took your stuff?
Not without my consent.
That's
I'm
fair.
going back to sleep.
This is going no.
Rick, can we get you to free us? Can you buy us? And then we can buy ourselves back from you?
He looks at the other goblin.
See, we're not for sale.
I don't necessarily think
Can you find us a code for info?
Yes.
He says. The other goblin watches him walk off. He turns and looks back at the rest of you, right? He says,
Thank you for compliment.
it's supposed to sort of difficult. He says,
Thank you for being good to my cousin. But, I said later.
Do what?
I say this. Is the trigger point here or down the hall? Because it has to be.
What's fascinating?
He starts like to go on about it.
He says, the way I first know he says, it couldn't have done it like hell, because there's a lot of magical components.
You hear whiz bang. He like stops and he turns and kind of like a start.
I'm using big problems to like make.
You see the cat folk call down to him, and the cat folk has been watching all of you this entire time. He says, leave them alone.
Listen to Cat.
Da 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 da.
He leaves.
The ghost shape of him.
Right.
Craig says when he comes back up, he has a sack.
I had goblins.
He's not the pirate.
I stopped.
Roll me a bluff. He says,
Put up 2 dollars.
That one's smaller.
I'll take a pillow and go somewhere else.
Oh, I don't have. They have my stuff.
I just grabbed the pillow. I'm like, it's one.
We still have our stuff except for it.
yes.
We will give you. We will give
That's fine.
Can be used as a pillow.
We will give you money after we get home. Promise.
He looks at you and he like sees the seriousness in your face. Right. You know, I have a sack with a dead cat in it.
Yeah, I got it. Here you go, Damon.
House. Like, are we talking
Does that?
like recent? Or are we talking?
Are we like cleric dead or necromancer dead? Like, which one of these solves the problem?
Are we recent dead or archaeology dead?
He's only mostly dead. He said to blade.
I tossed it over to
No,
Damon.
no.
Do what?
I tossed it over to Damon.
He's just catatonic.
No. 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 Nothing you can say was better than that. No.
Yeah, this is gonna be a catastrophe.
It happened and I couldn't stop it. I'm sorry, viewers. You get no experience.
It's like, are you kidding me?
Now listen here, Meow. Are we done?
We haven't done anything.
That's pretty much it.
Oh,
I do have one. I'm saving.
No, yeah.
Oh.
That's you, so I
Okay.
can keep pointing at you. That's fun.
okay. Continue.
Giggity.
Walking a real feline here.
Hear me out.
I go to sleep. Me too. I'm done.
Yeah, kind of after this. It's good. Night night.
As you all bed down, Damon, you slip into an easy slumber. As you do so, it's almost as if, like, you know how when you fall asleep, you kind of lose track of the point, like, I'm resting, now I'm awake. You lose, and then there's like that void, that area, like where you slept, and it's almost like time. As you're drifting off to sleep, it doesn't feel that way. You're very conscious of the time where you fall asleep, of that moment. The air around you turns black, and it's almost like this thick, dark miasma rolls over you as you feel your body kind of shut down and go into that soft, rhythmic state. But you're unable to move. More than that, you are unaware of your body anymore. It is as if you are adrift in this cool, endless void. Then you see a pillar of light illuminating one single object. A plant of some kind, a high stalk that rises up with a large leaf that looks like a star. Then on top of the leaf, you see a thick-bodied caterpillar begin to crawl out. And as it moves, it suddenly begins to shift and twitch as it starts moving at 50 times its normal speed. It rushes to the end of the leaf, making the leaf dip under its weight, and you see it begin to roll over and over and over and over and over as it creates this bright purple chrysalis around its body, just forming a cocoon. The light fades and the plant vanishes as you see a hand reach out, almost larger than life, as it grasps around the cocoon. The hand opens up and you see a magnificent moth rise up out of the hand and spread its wings. You see it's a vibrant sheen of blues and purples and blacks. As it flaps its wings clumsily, you see those colors shift and change in this kind of kaleidoscope of those three colors. This butterfly begins to flutter, and you see Arady step forward. You see the butterfly begin to flap and flutter, and you see a hawk rise up from the other side, and they begin to mimic and dance in the air, creating figure eights and shifting back and forth. And it's at that moment you realize how large this moth is, because it is the same size as the hawk. Arady stands before you in her splendid battle armor, her bastard sword to one side and that cape dropping down behind her. She looks down at you, but you can't see from the brim of her nose up. Her eyes completely hidden by shadow as her hair drops forward. She raises her sword into the air as you see motes of light and starbursts begin to erupt and dance around it. She then raises her other hand and points to you, and you feel your brand begin to burn into your brain. It hurts almost as if a hot iron pressed into your flesh. There's nothing you can do to stop it. You can't cry out. You can't grasp it. There's just this searing pain. And before you know it, you awaken. And during that time, the rest of you fall into a sleep as well. And the beginning of this sleep is not unlike Damon's. You're aware of your surroundings, and you're aware when it begins to form. Manzarek, you see the cocoon begin to form and spin. As it does so, Derek, can you just a second? You two are ridiculous. As you see that begin to form, you hear a familiar voice call out to you. You hear, "Hey Manny, are you done with those mushrooms yet or not?" You turn and you see Darum leaning against a rock. The area around you is a carnivorous forest. The trees rise high and there's very little vegetation along the way. There are rocks that kind of block your vision from surrounding ridge lines, preventing you from seeing beyond. You can tell that it's later in the evening and you feel cool air suggesting that it's shifting into autumn. You see ashes resting on the ground beneath him, kind of scratching into the dirt as this dire rat periodically would find a grub or something and begin eating it with its little grabby hands. Darum is wearing just a vest and these typical slacks, and he has that same green druidic cloak that hangs over his shoulders with the sigil of the great tree clipping onto its cape. He has his arms folded and he looks down at you, and you see a large pile of displaced dirt next to him, as behind him a freshly dug burrow has been created. When you look up at him questioningly, you look back down at the ground to regard the caterpillar, and before you, you see 3 mushrooms of varying colors, sizes, and shapes. He says, "Well, hurry up. Which one?"
Acknowledge me, you should identify the options.
You may.
It's been 17.
17. You look down at them and you kind of scan over them. One of them you do recognize. It would cause horrific gastrointestinal distress if you were to eat it. One of them you don't recognize. It's foreign to you. The other one, you know that if it was sauteed in butter with a little salt would be...
Like, brush each one and then slowly take the one that tastes good. Take it. Present it to him with a smile.
That's yours. Prove it. How confident? He says. He jumps down. He walks over to you, standing only a little taller than you. As he walks up, his tail waving behind him, and he says, "Now, tell me something, Manny. How are you so good with plants and so terrible with animals? We're going to go on this pilgrimage in a few weeks, and you don't even have an animal companion yet." You see Ashes walk over and eat the other 2 mushrooms and then walk off. That's probably fine. Ashes, by the way, is larger than most.
He's going to want to finish that. Everything that I say is in very wild stuff. It's like I'm still trying to learn the language, and it's rough. And so like I'm going to keep talking normally, but it's really like every 4th word is correct.
He is doing the same thing, almost forcing you to immerse in that, to forcing you to speak it.
I don't know, but I am still trying.
Darum's fur is pitch black. Where Hatch's fur is like this off gray with kind of flakes of black that are hidden within his belt. Darren, however, is completely black in color with his fur, and he has earrings all along one of his ears. But each of those earrings are a smooth and polished type of wood. Nothing on him is made of metal. He says, he kind of like sighs. He says, well then tell me. He says, so imagine for a moment you are moving through the woods and you're suddenly attacked by a dire bear or a dire bat or something. What would you do?
I would run. I would hide. It is the Grizzly way.
Oh, no. He says, this isn't the swamp. He says, you can be friended at certain levels. At a certain level, you'll be able to speak to it.
Everything needs everything. Everything needs everything.
He says, trust me. The only thing that knows more about running and hiding from things than a Gripply are us. He says, okay, new example. Imagine you're suddenly swarmed by a group of vermin of some kind. Ashes looks up, he says, not you. Something besides rats. How would you handle it?
I would stand my ground. I would talk to it. And then when it bit me, I would run.
You're going to have to learn to deal with these animals. Your knowledge of plants is dumb, he says. But your knowledge of animals leaves something to be desired, he says as he begins to walk back to the burrow.
I continue walking with the same staff.
He sits back on his little hovel. He says, by the way, what made you want to be a druid? What made you want to leave your little swamp?
You did.
Yes, but you. What about you made you want to?
Well, you came to the village. You were not afraid. You stood up to the monsters that plagued our village. It was like seeing the matriarch in action. It was exciting. That's why I want to be like you. That's why I want to be.
Do you want power or do you want knowledge?
That's the way to do that. Knowledge.
He smiles real big as if he's pleased with that answer. He says, are all Gripply as stoic as you? He wrote you in chest. It says, what an exciting life you and your people must.
Oopsies.
As the sun begins to set, you hear this bitter, shrill cry echo out through the woods. You see his ears perk up as he stands up. He says, it's the sound of an distress. This, my friend, feels like a great opportunity for us. He says, come on. He says, Ashes! Ashes stands up and begins to follow him as he starts running through the woods.
I quickly grab the image that is not yet on my cloak of the little crappy Gozer symbol. Gozer is good. Gozer is good. Gozer is good. And I put it in my pocket and start running.
I was wondering why this map wasn't showing up on my laptop.
Why do you need a map?
HBO. Or whoever it is.
Hey, do you have that new song for the Door of the Explorer for us? I'm the map. I'm the map. I'm the map. I'm the map. It's fantastic.
The trees are all like,
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, this is cool. I don't know how to stand up and sleep.
Oh my gosh! Shots fired
Shot
in
fired.
a big way. Holy cow!
I would say I was on my knees, but he wouldn't be able to reach my head.
It's
I have to go walk off that burnt brain. I get that, like, enough to hit me. Like,
Not yet. Unless there's a parent that I need to worry about.
Sorry, sir. Not really.
Where is the other one?
What other one? Small one?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I have not seen it. Actually, I do see it. Hang
yeah,
on.
he's right there because he was dropped last session in between.
Yeah, Amos did
I
it.
can get it.
I got it. I promise. Yeah, that's what happened last time. It's Eli.
He begins to move through the trees, and I would like you to roll me a stealth check.
It's gonna be a 21.
What?
Wait.
He will follow behind you with a 26. You move through what little foliage there is, taking cover behind rocks or logs, and then you come to what looks to be a worn trail through the forest. This is not a main road. This is a trail that people have made through constant traversing through the forest, but it is not like a main highway or merchant path or anything like that. And when you get closer, you realize why. You see that there are 4 humans standing around a large wagon. The horse is tied up off to the distance. As they begin to laugh and converse, you can tell they're drinking heavily, and you see inside of a cage off to the side a large raptor. Her feathers are kind of dull in color, and she is laying on her side and screeching at one of the men that's standing there, drunkenly accosting her. The one sitting by the fire calls out to him. He says, "Hey!" He says, "Leave that thing alone! She's making an awful racket!" As he drinks from a bottle. Darren looks at you and he says, "What a wonderful opportunity." So, Manzarek, he says, saying your full name, these are poachers. They have no business in our woods, and they have no business with that creature. How would you handle this situation?
They are breaking Georgia's law. Sure. They must be asked. Are we? What likely?
Hop to it.
I start walking out and I'm just like, put my hand in my pocket and start rubbing that symbol a lot. Closer's good.
Do you go along the trail?
And yeah, and I just walk straight up.
How close do you get to them?
I call out to them 50 feet away. Like, gentlemen,
They don't stop. They look up. Oi! What's that? Well, it says, I ain't so frog. Hey, can't be a frog that talks. He like stands up. Are you a frog? He just like screams, dude.
I kind of like take a step back. It's like, yes, kind of. That's not important. What is important is that you are trespassing in these lands, and you have to leave.
They get to within about 25 feet and then stop. Oh yeah? And what if we don't?
It is the responsibility of the druids of this land. I will do so. Please leave. any violence. I look over at Darum.
Roll me a perception.
17.
He is not there.
Take a step forward. Please leave. Please leave the animal and go about your way. He has to be heard.
One looks at the other and kind of scoffs. He reaches to his side and he pulls out a cudgel as he begins to make his way towards you. And I would like you to roll for initiative.
Oh,
no.
I've rolled terribly tonight.
I feel your pain.
Oh yeah. More serious than concern.
Down to 8 HP.
What'd you get?
A 10?
With your homework, your doctor.
You just got a god.
I'm about to get the crap beat out of me. Dreams. I'm gonna wake up and be like, God, that experience was terrible.
I hated it the first time. Why do I have to hold it again?
Again.
He steps up to you. Make me.
I will.
Oh god!
I will once again ask you to leave. And I kind of
It's your first on the initiative, by the way.
a 2-foot creature, just like kind of push him a little bit with my.
Play your ego at all.
I'm trying to be the biggest possible, but it's hard when you're 2 foot tall. And like just kind of push him a little bit with my staff. I'm like, please leave. There's no reason for violence.
And whack.
So, he looks down at you, right? He goes to swing at you, and it takes this much effort. As he trips and falls, his buddy begins laughing. Just, you very much wrong. He like stands up and he's like, I'm Shaw! And he says, it's your turn.
I hit him with the quarterstaff.
You may. This will begin
7.
It's flat-footed because he is not making
7.
just like a. It's in the.
Please leave.
You just hit me with a stick? Well, he looks at his club. Oh, it's big. He says as he swings at you.
Holy crap. Does an 8
No. I hit him the 19.
Will strike your opponent.
5 points of damage. That's lethal. I don't plan on killing him.
He swings at you, you duck under it as you come up and just crack him across the nose. He steps back. Oh, no! What? The other one says. He moves his hands, you see blood. He says, he broke my nose! You hear the other two at the camp begin to laugh as his buddy is going to rush forward and he is going to swing at you. Does a 21 hit you?
It does.
Dealing 3 points of damage. See, hits you across the head, sending you stumbling.
But he's all.
Yeah, alright.
I don't know why that one tickled me as much as it did.
Tickled is the word you're gonna go with?
Yep.
Um,
I never seen you talking about.
Same.
Here we go.
It is now your turn.
Okay, cool. I'm going to take a 5-foot step back.
Take it back now.
Summon a dog.
Singular.
A singular dog.
Dog's wall.
We're talking like Benji or
Medium-sized dog.
Or Yeller.
Oh wow.
So
It's a big old dog.
it is a big dog. The dog. Take a 5-foot step.
Bark, bark, bark.
Is going to do a combat maneuver to trip him.
It may.
Just walks in front of him as he's trying to get some arms.
And it's going to be a 10.
That will not trip the poacher. As the dog runs up and grabs his leg and begins to tug on it, he looks down at it. He said, "Alright, what's all it said?" You hear the other two cry out, "Having trouble, gentlemen?" As they look back at the one that just cried that, they said, "Mind your business!" As he swings down at the dog. 13.
It hits.
A single point of damage.
Okay.
The other one's taking a 5-foot step towards you. 11.
No.
He swings, sending you ducking down.
And I am going to smack him
You may.
with a nat 20.
Nat 20 crit threat, roll to confirm.
To confirm is a 12.
A 12 will not.
Yeah. And that's 5 points of damage. And the dog disappears. I'm actively not trying to kill him. So if he isn't knocked unconscious, like, back him into cities. Back.
So you hit him across the side of the head. He kind of stumbles. He looks at his buddy. His buddy says, "Oh, you'll smile with you," as he then hits the ground. He looks up at you with like this new sense of like, holy crap, right? He's going to take a 3-5-foot step towards you. And he's going to swing at you with a 2.
No.
I don't think so.
18.
That will strike your opponent.
4 points of damage.
You hit him in the face. He holds his eyes. Arrgh! He swings at you in retaliation with a 5.
11.
It will not strike your opponent. You swing at him and he grabs the stick, right? He says, "I've had enough of you, frog." He hasn't had enough of you. Would you like to take an attack opportunity? 21 will strike your opponent.
5 points of damage.
So, holding the stick, you pull, making his hand do that, and then you thrust. He's like, "Oh!" You see the other two look as they reach down and begin to grab crossbows. Nat 20.
Okay.
Does a 9 confirm?
It does not.
Dealing 3 points of damage.
Okay.
Where are you in your house?
I'm not great, but I'm still standing.
He hits you, sending you stumbling. He grabs you as he grabs you by your cape, and he pulls you up off of your feet. He says, "Had enough, frog."
Yeah, I go ahead and hit him again.
You may.
We find that man.
17.
17 will strike your opponent.
5 points or 4 points of damage.
He stumbles. He falls flat of his back as you're on top of him. I imagine you're trying to get your cloak out of his grip, right? As you see the other two men begin to rush towards you, they run along the path and they aim at you, right? As they do so, the sun begins to set and the area becomes dark. The light behind them from their campfire silhouettes them. As you see them aiming their crossbows towards you, and then you see them and then slowly lower their crossbows. Aram steps up beside you and he says, "Forgive my friend. He's constantly getting into mischief." And you see rats begin to pour out from all the shrubs around. The men begin to scream as these rats begin to swarm them. You hear them tearing and gnawing at their body as they start shredding their clothes, pulling their shirts off, and running into the woods in a blind panic.
The other two that are knocked on the ground, I am immediately going to do heal checks on them to try to stay alive.
There looks down at you.
That's a 28. What are you doing?
Useless.
And a 25. 26. All life is precious.
He was fast.
Swarm of rats just eats them.
Yep.
Hyper on.
That's what.
A swarm of rats eats one of their bodies, and Ashes walks up to the other one. Oh boy!
Just drags him out of the wood.
Oh!
He's alive.
That'll balance out those mushrooms. Darren walks over to the cage. He opens it. As he does so, you see a raptor laying there. Her feathers are matted, and you see they are stained with blood. He gently extends out his hand, and you feel the magic kind of emanate from his hand. Battle music going on. Chill out, battle music.
Lights up.
You feel the druidic magic begin to emanate from him, and you see her calm, but you can still feel the pain in her. You can see the pain in her eyes, and you can empathetically feel what she's going through. You can see her labored breathing, and you know that she can't hold on for very long. Darren sees this, and with he calmed her emotions, but there's a little more he can do for her. As he just kneels down with her, and he gently rests her head in his hands.
Try to feed her a good berry. You know, there probably won't be a whole lot, but it's like one last nice people.
She does so, taking it from your hand, and you see her jaws just kind of clamp around it, and she does a very weak kind of jolt up as she swallows it. And you see her just close her eyes as her breathing starts to slow. Darren looks at you. He says, "Unfortunately, this is part of it. You say all life is precious. Maybe. But I do feel like I don't value some more than others." He rolls his hand over her feathers, petting her gently. He gives a heavy sigh. He says, "If you truly can find value in those that do things like this, you hear a faint noise emitting from the cage.
Perception. If you need it or want to have one.
Why are you giving it to me?
I see all.
You're very aware of what's happening here in the past and in the future, just all at once. Yeah, everything everywhere all at once. You turn and look at the cage, and you see that there's something moving slightly in the straw. Walking over to it, you see an egg. This egg twitches and jerks, and you see a small crack begin to form. You hear this chipping noise as you see the head of a baby raptor begin to emit from the shell. It reaches up with its tiny claws, tearing away at the shell as it rolls out. Its eyes not even open, as it kind of reaches up and gives that very soft and high-pitched cry. It begins to chirp, and you see the mother begin to kind of jerk and roll in Darren's hands as she's trying to get to the egg, but she's just simply unable to. And it feels like those last moments of effort is all she had. She's lost.
Pick up the egg and then I'll let you continue to get itself out. Bring it closer to the mother. Set it down. You're just gonna look at it. Watch what's happening.
the small raptor rolls up against the feathers of the mother, it rubs and nestles, but it like shifts and moves as if it's looking for something. As if being close to the body of its mother is not what it wants. And it begins to kind of like reach up, almost like it's begging to be held.
Look at it and see, make sure it's healthy. Like, hesitant, because every other animal that I've ever tried to deal with, like, has either bit me or, like, they tried to eat me.
Yeah, this is clearly a predator.
And I, like, this is something that, like, that would eat me, normally, so I'm like, let's hold this and let's look at it. And it was like a cautious optimism.
As you hold the baby raptor in your hands, you feel this connection. You feel like this empathic link to it. And you suddenly have this acknowledgement or this kind of binding emotion to this new life that had just entered the world, where you are now responsible for it. And this is now the most important thing in the world to you. Darum stands up from the mother raptor. As he walks over to you, he looks down at the baby raptor in your hands, as I imagine you're just staring kind of in disbelief at this new life. And he says, "Congratulations." He puts his hand on your shoulder. He says, "I think you're ready. This is your new animal companion." And then you open your eyes and realize it's So, next up, Dr. Isaac Toad.
Like a sheep.
That's offensive.
That's hilarious.
I may have no legs, but I am not.
I was trying to put your hand on it.
Cool.
I forget what I played with things.
Now we know that it's here.
He's still alive. She's very much so a caregiver.
Meet your mom. That's the priority here.
What are we doing here?
He's a caregiver. He talks a lot about the deal.
Huh, armless AJ.
No.
Oh no. I said, look, Mom, no one.
Catch the ball.
You shot it. Oh, no.
Yeah, it's not very nice kid.
It's a very mean, bullying, like, maybe we get canceled. Anyways, I'm sorry.
Yeah, maybe not.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Easy, it's fun.
The world around you fades. You see the plant, that same cocoon, and then you feel the heat. You smell the brimstone, and you find yourself in an area that is simultaneously foreign and familiar to you. Who you have been for the last couple of weeks is gone from your mind. You are now flooded with thoughts, ideas, memories, experiences, desires that you haven't had before or you don't remember having. As you stand in a laboratory, this laboratory filled with different equipment, the hum of electricity echoing out, and that feeling of ozone lingering in the air. A girl stands beside you, young from what you can tell, but you know her well. She wears a cloak covering her entire body as she stands next to you, probably maybe a half a head shorter than you. She looks over at this table as you begin to move components around and you begin to kind of mumble to yourself. She says, "Doctor, what do we do now?" You hear these roars and cries coming from outside, and you recognize it as the sound of battle. She says, "We need to go. We need to leave."
There's but few preparations I have to do left. This is important.
But if they find me, if they find us...
Correct. I have to make sure the escape route is perfect.
You hear the door shake.
And may not have as much time as I thought.
She turns to the door as suddenly... it bursts open. Bursts open. Sorry. Whoa!
You there?
I can do it.
Into the room steps a... Sorry?
Oh!
Steps a devilishly handsome man. He's wearing a suit that is mostly black, but with a crimson red lining, and on the inside, completely crimson red. His hair is slicked back, and his eyes piercing. He steps into the room with this very confident demeanor. And behind him, you see he is being followed by 3 what you know to be Reapers. You don't know what that means. Like, if you're like, I know what those are, but I don't know why I know what those are. Their skin is pale. They have tight bound straps that run down their arms, their legs, and across their chest and torso. They wear a blood red cowl that contrasts with the dark leather straps and completely conceals their face, with the exception of their bright yellow eyes that peer out from them. Each one of them is wielding a scythe as they walk in behind him as he steps into the room. She turns to face them, and you see she gets ready as the devilishly handsome man says, "My good doctor, am I interrupting something?"
He would freeze, like he was still trying to do something to freeze. Why, no, of course not. My apprentice was just moving some things around, and I hand her out a vial. I would have prepared a vial of gaseous form, like a potion of gaseous form.
She looks at it, she looks at you.
My life is no longer important. Do the thing we talked about. Hide them. The farthest corners you can go.
She reaches and takes it. As she does so, he says, No. I simply can't allow that."
And then I would step in front of her.
He snaps his fingers. As the 3 men begin to move and shift into the room, she pulls back her cloak. In doing so, she has platinum blonde hair that drops down almost to her waist in like a long mane. She has stitches that run from her hairline down to the brim of her nose and wise out to either side. You see her skin tone changes from all 3 of these patterns. As she drops the cloak, she has just a cloth bandage around her chest and loose-fitting slacks. She has, over her heart, a small orb beaming with electricity, and that same kind of electricity teeming from small nodes around her fists. As she drops the cloak, she gets into a battle stance, holding the vial in one hand, and that electricity starts to roll around her body. As she squares up to them, she looks at you, she says, "Please let me help you."
The moment you sustain, you go. Do not hesitate. I command you go.
She looks at them. He says, "Kill them." and we will pick it up here next time. Thank you for joining us, adventurers, and remember that this has been a good day to die.